Welcome to Your Music is Bad and You Should Feel Bad. This week, I don't think we're really going to make anyone feel too bad, except maybe John Williams. We're going to review the King Diamond and Braindance shows we went to. Spoiler alert, both were pretty awesome. But in between, we talk a little bit about the new Star Wars movie, and some of it is musically relevant, some discussion of the score and John Williams, and related topics. If you haven't seen it yet, or you're afraid of spoilers, don't listen to the middle third of this episode. So anyway,
what are we gonna jump into?
So let's try to go semi-chronological.
Well, yeah.
order.
So we've got
King Diamond.
We've got a big gap because Thanksgiving happened. Right. And then I went to Europe for a week. So we haven't been here in a while.
So first,
but yeah, I think King Diamond was the first show we went to.
Let's do the overview. So we had King Diamond, Braindance, Lulu, and then your Europe.
And then I went to
stuff.
a couple of shows in Europe.
All right, cool. So
and true to our trend, I did not go to King Diamond.
yeah.
Probably the show at all these I most wanted to go to. Well, maybe Lulu, but
yeah,
I most wanted to go to Braindance.
Well,
well,
because I'd already seen Lulu.
I'd already seen Braindance. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So King Diamond, which was him doing all of Abigail and the I think I heard their outfits on this tour were all done by Kim.
Yeah, Kim did all their outfits. She at one point she said something like, "I'm having a really hard time finding good shots of them on stage wearing the outfits because too many dorks went as King Diamond for Halloween." So she's like, so the hashtag on Instagram is all cluttered with like fan photos. But yeah, no, she did those. They were pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was like it was actually, I want to say, better than I expected, because I think when I first looked up like live clips of King Diamond, I found he's there are moments and there's enough like backup. Like I noticed there was like a female backing singer next to like the stairway, but like she was almost like hidden next to it.
Oh, I didn't even see her.
She was either like doing harmony or like, back up on parts when he wasn't just going to be able to do like a super high thing for a long time or whatever. But he was still doing a ton of it himself at the same time.
No,
like,
and he sounded really good.
Yeah.
And the last time I saw King Diamond was actually a Merciful Fate show in like 2000. In Seattle. That was the show that Worrell Dane snuck me into because I was underage. I was like 18 or 19 and it was 21 and up. My buddy Jeff goes, he was trying to be like, because we showed up because we were like, we'll just figure out a way to get in this show. And he was like, when they were like, yeah, we're not going to let you in, Jeff was like, well, can we just like go buy some merch? And so they're like, okay. So they let us in, and then I was like, I saw the band and I was like, oh, hey, Worrell, like, can we get a picture or whatever? He's like, okay, cool. And then he's like, all right, now's your chance. And I headed for the balcony, and I forget what happened. I forget like the exact sequence of events, but Jeff got kicked out. Like they caught him because we like split up, and they caught him and threw him out, and I hung out in the balcony. So like Jeff had to hang out in front of the venue talking to like some random homeless guy for like 3 hours. But I think Jeff was fine with it because he's weird and talks to strangers and it's like thinks it's cool. But it was just hilarious because it was like we went with all of our friends who drove. Neither of us had a car in Seattle at the time. So the thing was, regardless of how many of us got thrown out, like we were gonna have to wait. But I got to see the show. Jeff had to wait outside and talk to randos. But yeah, it was good. That was a good show. but it was on the Merciful Fate 9 tour, which that album is incredibly unremarkable. So I felt like this was a way better show.
Yeah.
The thing that was weird, though, to go to your point about that woman being hidden, right? Like I didn't see her.
Yeah.
And the note that I have about, so they had video screens. This was at Nokia Best Buy PlayStation Theater in Times Square.
Yeah.
We should back up. We should talk about
that's
getting
right.
into the venue.
I forgot
because we had to hang out. So where did we go eat? We went and ate somewhere.
It's a Mexican place, but I forget which.
Really?
I thought it was.
Somewhere in my neighborhood.
Maybe not.
I don't remember. Anyway, we went and ate beforehand, and then we went to the venue, and there's this insane line. So the entrance is on the south side of the building. So there's a line on the south side of the building that has your typical concert barricade. And then they're like, there's a gap because it's Times Square. There's a million people and they can't just like block off the sidewalk. So you walk to where you think is the end of the line. And they're like, no, this is the gap. The line continues over there. So you walk to the east side of the building and then you walk, along this line and you get to the end of the block and you try to get in line. They're like, no, this is the gap. The line continues over there. So then you walk to the north side of the building and you walk until you get to the end of the line.
And then for some reason, like we were pretty close to the corner on the side we were on. But for some reason, after a few minutes, when the line started moving, the guy kept being like, no, not yet.
Right.
Like, let it go more.
Yeah, they had a very unsophisticated system for managing the passing people between the gaps, and they weren't able to like coordinate it correctly.
And there was like, they just didn't have enough people for how long the line was, I guess. Because there was this point where like there was a guy kind of orchestrating our corner, and then he kind of followed the line, but he was like, you guys just keep staying back there, all right? Don't worry, you're gonna go to the show you're waiting on the wrong side of the block for, but just stay. And people around us were like, this doesn't seem right. I feel like we should go there where the line is because it's moving. And there's like, the guy said to stay here. We're not supposed to go. And finally, I think we just went was the thing. And then he was trying to send us back, and we're like, dude, no, here's the end of the line. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, I was like, he said send 15.
Yeah,
and like that. But he was like, what's your number? And like he said send 15.
Yeah,
like that's my number.
Yeah, I was standing there for way too long. Now I'm standing over here.
Roseland used to do this with their shows, but they just have everyone line up around the block. But at least half the time, they would start letting in from the end of the line instead of the front. So people would get really fucking pissed.
Man.
Oh, I imagine. So, and then didn't we bumped into Christina as the line was moving?
Right. So Christina,
she was extra friendly because I think she was trying to like.
No, that was the thing.
Skip behind us.
She walks up and like hugs us and is like, oh, all the cute guys are here. And I totally thought that was her. Like, so we're going to hang out in line with you now. But she made she like just kept walking. Yeah. I was like, I was going to let you cut. Like, that's cool. I mean, you didn't even have to like, flatter me and give me a hug. Like, it's cool. I would have let you cut. But then she just kept walking. And I was like, okay, cool. See you later. Yeah, but then, so I have a note here. Okay, well, so there's a couple things. I don't know if you want to talk about your experience with them patting us down twice.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, I have a note, but I don't know what it means now. It says standing inside waiting versus line. Because there was a lot of waiting.
Oh, right, because we got in. We achieved our one goal, which was we missed Exodus.
Right.
And
we timed that perfectly.
There was a pretty
Weren't
big...
they really good at some show recently?
Not any show I ever went to.
I've heard enough Exodus to know that I don't care how good they are.
Yeah.
The best Exodus show is not something.
No, I'm just trying to think if I've ever been to a thrash show that was good.
Yeah.
No, because literally,
what about MDF? Weren't they?
Who?
Exodus.
I'm sure I skipped their set.
Oh. Anyway, continue. Sorry to derail.
So, but there was a pretty long gap in between. I mean, I can see why. I guess
Right, because they have to do this.
Set up a lot
they
of
have
that
to do the setup. Yeah, the stage
stuff. But yeah, so we did end up waiting a long time. But I think it was still better. I think it was like surprisingly cold.
Yeah,
night.
you were like freezing outside. You were like you were like I'm gonna get sick standing out here.
Yeah, it was.
But I mean, like I was doing okay. It was colder than I wanted to be, but I didn't think I was gonna die. But yeah, so we get inside, and then we're standing there during the changeover. My weird thing was the guy. So we stand there. It's packed when we get in there. Okay, so this sort of almost gets to the point where I wanted to mention what you're talking about. Was the point where we were standing, because it was so packed, I'm like, well, let's just stand right in front of the soundboard, because that's usually where the sound is the best, because that's the person controlling the sound where they're hearing it from. So we go to stand right in front of the soundboard, and this dude's like, don't lean on the railing, whatever, back to the soundboard. I'm like, okay, whatever. That seemed arbitrary and weird. But then the other thing is it's right where the floor slopes up from the stage. Like there's a grade, and then it gets flat there. So you couldn't really see that well. Because I'm not that tall. And so they have 2 video screens. And so I watched a lot of the show from the video screens. And the thing was, I never saw this woman, this backup singer, on the video screens. And then I actually had a note about the camera work, because I go, the video will show anything except whoever is soloing.
Yes. And it was like,
serious.
It was,
they would like cut away, or it'd be like there'd be like a guitar solo, and they'd show like either the other guitar player or like the bass player. Or like King Diamond's doing some like, theatrical thing, and they're like showing the dude playing the riff, and you're what's going on?
It would be like they would be on the guitar player, and then you'd be like, here comes the solo, and they'd be like, quick, cut away. And they would, and I'd be like, son of a bitch, I haven't seen any guitar solos. Normally at that venue, in that area, like normally if it's a little less packed, usually surprisingly, that like railing there where it looks over like the lower floor is usually like not so dense that you can't get pretty close up and like see without having to be right on the rail and without having to like be completely like this show. You'd have been sweating your ass off in between a bunch of people, and I didn't want to do that.
This show was sold out,
right? And so I was like, I was like happy to see less but hear more, and also not be just like super uncomfortable.
The sound was great,
right?
And the other thing I wanted to do was there was a cable track. So if people don't know what I'm talking about, at a show, when you run cables somewhere where people walk, you can have it's like a cable track or a cable bridge, and it's just like plastic that covers over the thing, and it's raised up a couple inches. I wanted to stand on the cable track, but because then I would have been like 2 to 4 inches taller and probably could have seen over some people. But the security guy who told us not to lean on the thing was standing on the cable track. And what was funny was during the whole show, people would come by, and he would try to tell them like, hey, look out, don't trip over the cable track. But what ends up happening is when there's a metal band playing and someone yells at you, you either don't hear them at all, or you hear that someone's trying to talk to you, but you don't hear what they're saying. So a bunch of people would, like, they're walking, and so they're looking where they're walking, and then he'd be like, hey, don't trip on that thing. And they would stop looking where they were walking, and they would look at him and then proceed to trip on the thing. So it was kind of like, what are you doing? Like that, and that was literally, this is what he did the whole time. He did 2 things. He told people like us to not lean on the thing, and then don't trip on the, and neither of these was things that needed to be done.
I think I saw that happen at least once.
I saw it happen. Well, I was next to him. He was on my left, and then I was there, and then you were on my right.
Yeah.
So that was my whole show.
Just watching him trip people, basically.
Right, because I was like, when I got tired of not seeing solos on the screen, I would watch this guy and people tripping on stuff.
He's really just there for insurance purposes,
Yeah, it was just weird. I don't.
Like, I would hate to have that job because
Well, if
you
I had
don't
that-
really need to be there.
Right, and if I had that job, I would know that I didn't really need to be there, and I would do nothing.
Yeah.
But this guy felt like he needed to involve himself somehow.
Don't trip over this thing. David, how come they keep tripping?
Hey, you there! Stop paying attention to that thing you need to pay attention to. Yeah, and then I have another note. It says, filming the stage with no view. I feel like they had a lot of the shots were at a really weird angle. They were like
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
way over. And then I have another one that says filming the TV. I don't even know. It's been too long. I should have taken better notes because this was like a month ago.
Yeah.
But I'm sure whatever it was hilarious. The thing that was super cool was that backdrop. They had this weird, it was a curtain or whatever, but like a projection screen. But it wasn't just the back; it was the back and the sides. But the way it was illuminated, it was like it must have been backlit or something. But I didn't think there was enough room. Like it looked awesome
LEDs, probably.
on a screen that's like that huge, because it looked like it didn't look like a screen. It looked like it didn't look like an electronic screen. It looked like if anything, like a projection screen, So I don't know. It looked awesome, and I don't know how they did it, but it was really cool. But yeah, and they had all the crazy theatrics. They had, because the stage was like, it was all 80s out. Like they played, on the bottom, and then there were two staircases and like a balcony.
Yeah.
And then they did the crazy stuff where like they burned stuff on the deal, and they had the smoke and all the theatrics, and he was carrying around like a lantern and all the junk. Like it was super cool, and they sounded really good.
Yeah.
And then they played a couple of Merciful Fate tunes.
Oh, that's right. So part of it was
a couple
that
other things.
Part of what I was really happy about is the set list was like the perfect set list of every King Diamond related song that I could possibly want to hear for like to feel like I had seen enough to never like go out of my way again was played. And that for me, just from random, just based on like, not because I even necessarily like all these songs, they're just ones that I'm particularly familiar with.
I saw that.
So they did Melissa, which I just thought was funny.
Yeah, I actually don't like that album.
Yeah, I just think the song is, I don't know, it was the first I heard of Merciful Fate, and just, I don't know, the whole, and just keeps seeing like she was a witch, and he just keeps repeating it, and it's like, we get it, she was a witch. Like, all right, anyway. So,
repeat stuff.
Did Welcome Home, which is the best way to open a King Diamond show, which is the song about grandma, where he sings grandma a lot. If you don't know what we're talking about, you should immediately go to YouTube and just type in King Diamond Welcome Home, because I don't know how you haven't heard this song. It's either awesome or hilarious or both. And then
Usually both.
Yeah, usually both. And then Sleepless Nights, which is another one I like, especially just because the lyrics are, I can't sleep at night, that's what the day is for anyway. And I just like that, and then I also happen to think it's a decent song.
It was like their take on Kiss.
Yeah. Well, plus it's like a King Diamond power ballad.
I saw Kiss graffiti in Prague, by the way.
Oh, God.
I just want to mention that.
Kiss graffiti. Oh, wow. But so, and then they did Eye of the Witch, which I don't particularly like, but I played it in Mirror Black, so whatever. And then I think that's all of them.
Yeah, I mean, so my favorite song that they didn't play is The Oath, but I don't think they'll ever play that song live.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think they'd be able to, but anyway.
I could still say that 100% of my King Diamond listening experience was at Duff's, the old one.
Yeah.
Because the thing to do when you were blasted at that bar was stand out in the street and listen to King Diamond. And I don't remember any of it. I just know that
it happened.
We listened to a lot of King Diamond.
Yeah, I mean, if Omar was there, that would definitely happen. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's pretty good, I think, for the King Diamond show.
Yeah, that was most of what
it was good.
happened.
We didn't have too much to say. It was because it was good, and it was it was pretty much the best of what you could expect for what it is, and yeah, I'm very happy with it. And clearly everybody else there was too, because it was packed.
And there were weird like audience members who wanted us to be more pumped.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Well, we know one of them, and we know he'll probably hear this. But
whatever.
That aside, right. But there was some dude. Because first of all,
is it that dude? I'm not gonna say his name.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God.
But there was also, but more amusingly, there were. And
randos.
His thing was more like, honestly, he didn't say anything at the show. He just came up and said, hey, or whatever. And then later on, when I at some point, I posted something on Facebook and he was like, oh, yeah, like you guys seem like you really enjoyed it. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's how I heard it in my head.
Yeah.
But I really couldn't tell if he was being sarcastic or not, because I was like, yeah, I did. Were you being sarcastic? I really enjoyed it. I think you're implying it didn't look like I was. But fuck you, because who cares what I look like when I'm watching a show, right?
Right. Well, and the other thing is, like, you started feeling sick. You were like,
right. That's the other thing. I really was like, again, we ate, it wasn't nice. We went to some nice place actually. The food was really good, but
we went to Friedman's.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I love that place.
No, it was great, but it was the fact that like immediately after eating a large meal, I stood out in the cold for 20 minutes, and
it was more than 20 minutes,
right,
dude.
Right. Yeah.
It was like 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's. Right, you're right. So and in general, that's a bad, like being super cold, like while trying to digest has always not been a great combo for me. So yeah, so I wasn't feeling great, but I still but even if I had been, like I still wasn't gonna be like posing and gesturing with the like drunk metal dudes. Like, what do you expect?
Right.
Like,
we weren't hammered enough for that show.
Yeah.
No, because like then after that, right, there was some like rando, and he was like staring us down, throwing horns in our face, like, and I was like, yeah, dude, it's a metal show.
I've noticed this
I don't
is like
understand any of that.
This is the incoherent drunk metal guy test. Is he'll come up to you and like, yeah, first he kind of just looked at me like. Give it like this won't show up on the podcast, but he was giving me this look, which was kind of like,
that's how audio works, Matt.
Like, what's like I see you watching the show, but it kind of looks like you're not that into it. And so the test is he just like shows you the horns and kind of looks at you like, right, metal, right, and then
you're part of the cult, right?
All you have to do is just nod and go like, and give him the horns back, be like, yeah, like just nod like, yeah, right, metal, and then he'll fuck off. Really, what I want to say is flip him a couple different fingers and be like, again, fuck off and let me watch the show that you are now making it harder for me to enjoy, because I do enjoy the King Diamond, but I'm not drunk like you are. So
like, even when I'm really excited to see a show, in fact, especially when I'm excited to see a show, if it's like Meshuggah, just stay the fuck out of my face, and I want to see this killer band, and not deal with scene bullshit.
Yeah,
but it's metal shows, man.
It's
I think that you need to go to more power metal shows where everyone expects you to partake in the sing along.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Or like a folk metal show about, pirates that drink beer.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to think of so like in general, I've very rarely been a visibly enthusiastic person at concerts, and if I'm going to, it's like a very specific case where like it's the right kind of concert.
Well, it's just a certain. It's just, I mean, that's kind of the way we are. It's like you were talking about.
Right.
You're like, I'll go see Star Wars, but like in a couple weeks on a Tuesday matinee, because I don't need any like cheering.
Yeah, multiple people were like, "Hey, you want to go XYZ?" And I was like, all of those days are still this week, and it's coming out this week. So this is not a week. I don't know.
The thing I went to was awesome because there was like no one there. It was free food. It was at 10 in the morning.
Because no one could get out of work.
And that was the thing. They
had to justify it as like a networking event.
Right. No, and it was funny because it was totally, they were plugging ARM. And
why?
The ARM, I don't know, because ARM's trying to get in server space. So the ARM dude got up there and talked, but he didn't know how to use a microphone. And then the Red Hat guy was like, yeah, Red Hat sent me over here so we could write this off as a business expense. But
So it's a way a bunch of neckbeards got to get out of work and go see Star Wars.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
Right. And he was like, but I don't really have anything to say. I just brought my kid because he wants to see Star Wars. So here's the movie.
I should have worked from home that day and gone.
No, dude, it was great.
Damn.
because the theater was mostly empty, so I got to sit in the seat I wanted to sit in. There was free food. I didn't pay, and there was no cheering.
Nice.
And then, you know, I got to spoil however much of the movie I wanted to, depending on how much I dislike whomever I was talking to. So I do have a note about the music though on that. So I sat through the whole credits because I was like, well, it's noon. Like I'm not doing anything today. I don't need to be anywhere. So might as well sit through these credits and maybe there's like some thing at the end. There wasn't, by the way, so you don't have to sit through the credits.
Good to know.
But so I was sitting there just being like, well, you know, I'll listen to the music, whatever. And then just randomly I looked up and the credit that it was on was the music production credits. And it was like guest conductor Gustavo Dudamel. And I was like, this is frustrating for so many reasons. But I was like, but he is the conductor in LA, so I guess it makes sense. But I was like, whatever. That's some serious music nerd shit.
Do you want to explain that to those?
He sucks. That's my explanation. The thing about Dudamel is he got his gig. So first of all, in South America, he did some really good work. Like he did a lot of community stuff and youth orchestra stuff that really raised the level of exposure for, you know, the orchestra and concert music in his community. But he's not a good conductor. And most articles that I would see about him that were positive in the U.S. press, because he then went and became the conductor for the LA Phil, were about his hair. Because he had this big kind of like curly fro thing going on, and you know,
it's good marketing.
Yeah, when you're one of those conductors, like every conductor has their style, right? My favorite is as far as like we're not talking about musicality, we're talking about conducting style.
Right.
Is Rodovensky, because he conducts with this gigantic baton, like comically large baton that he knows is comically large, and he will do stuff like a sword thrust and stuff. And I saw him conduct Hungarian dances one time. And it's like he gets to like the third dance or whatever, and it's like really like schmaltzy and typical romantic music. And he turned around and looked at the audience like, yeah, and like everyone started laughing. It was so great. Like he does not take himself too seriously. But Dudamel sucks. So he's bouncing around and his hair's bouncing around, and like I saw him conduct at the New York Phil. I try to not go because first of all, they, you know, play museum pieces, and that hall sucks. Okay. It just doesn't, it's not the worst hall, but it's not good. Like you're not like, oh, I'm really glad I came and I'm hearing this in the hall. Mm. And I think I went because, they played the Nussen Violin Concerto. I can't remember if this was years ago, but he couldn't balance the orchestra. Like your job as the conductor is to keep everyone together and to keep everyone at the right volume level. So the blend is correct. And he like couldn't do it. And I was just like, how do you have this job? Like I went to grad school with people who are better than you. Actually, this dude I went to grad school with he's the conductor of the Hong Kong Philharmonic. Like he's legitimately awesome in doing stuff. So good for him. But like, yeah, Dudamel sucks. So then I went and looked this up.
So I should just say this episode's about Star Wars.
Yeah,
and then people will download it
yeah.
and they'll be like, what is all this other shit? I'm like, it's in there.
You're
Wait
like,
for it. It's in there.
The farce awakens. The fury awakens. Can we work Ingve into this somehow?
The most entertaining part of Star Wars.
Yeah, the end. I told you guys, the worst shot in the film is the second to last shot. Like it's bad.
Right.
It's like, because that's part of the thing. The first three are so crappy with the CGI and everything. Like the film like it looks pretty good. It's shot well, and so you immediately feel better and like more optimistic about it. So you immediately, like, you're watching it and you're like, oh, I feel better about my hopes for this movie are raised, because immediately it looks a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this more seriously.
Could you imagine if we caught someone getting murdered on this podcast?
On the podcast? So then we could have our own cereal.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think they're just playing soccer.
Yeah. Or just being drunk and yelling. It's
Saturday
totally
night.
Normal thing. Yeah.
This is what cool kids do. They podcast on Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
But for me, I still, like, I woke up at 11:30 last night, so I've been awake, like, forever. I'm lucky to be awake. I should not be going out anyway. My sleep schedule's all screwed up from Europe. So, but anyway, so the movie looks better, and they do a great job. And then right at the end, you're just like, oh, you had to go and do that. The shot is terrible. It's like laughably terrible. And it's supposed to be this like super cathartic moment that leads into the next movie. And you're all like, yeah. And I'm just like, man, that was a bad shot. And I don't even know anything about film, but it's like when we watch the Braindance video, and I'm like, I don't know anything about film, but I know you're not supposed to have the column, the set. It was worse. It was worse than. It's a bad shot. It's a really, really bad shot. It's the second to last shot in the film. Yeah. So then I went and I looked. So I looked this thing up, the Dudamel thing. I looked it up, and yeah, apparently. John Williams is aware of how terrible he actually is, and he called Dudamel to conduct the opening and closing sequences, and it's just like,
is he more or less terrible than John Williams?
Oh, he's less terrible, because I mean, like, it's his job, so he's at least like does it all the time, whereas John Williams is just like phoning it in. Like, that's the other thing. A lot of these guys, so I can't speak about John Williams' process because I don't know, because I don't care. But like,
I have a theory about it, but it might be appropriate for the podcast.
Well,
but you go ahead.
But I know, like, for the dudes,
that should be an episode. Sorry.
Like Danny Elfman, like the guys who worked on The Simpsons and stuff, like they write short score, and then they give it to an actual musician who writes the full score. There was a interview that I read. Was it Danny Elfman or Alf Clausen? It was one of those guys, and it was for a mainstream publication, like the New York Times or something like that. So where the intended audience wasn't musicians, you weren't expected to know things, and they had like marked a bunch of stuff on the score, and they were like, "Can you tell us just a little bit about these things?" And one of the things they marked was the harp pedalings, and he didn't know what they were. And I was just like,
wait, was this a score that this was the final score?
This was his score, right? No, that's what I'm saying. He only wrote the short score,
right? So it was the final. It wasn't the score that he actually wrote.
Right. It was the actual piece,
score.
Right? It was the performed score, the concert score.
And I was like, I don't know what that shit is.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know. It's something for the harp player.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, right, because it's on the staff that on the left says harp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it is clearly something for the harp player.
Well, that's the funny thing. Like, that's the same kind of issue with like people looking at orchestral music or use of an orchestra in rock music, because they always seem to leave out the fact that somebody else got paid to do it. Like, this band was just
I actually did that one time. I got a rock band had me like score and accompaniment for their thing. Yeah.
And that's probably the way a lot of people get work with music degrees. But
I just want to know who's doing all those black metal orchestral parts. the Oslo Philharmonics getting all that work.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, who does Isan was hiring somebody?
I think the Oslo Philharmonic.
Probably.
No, I'm serious. I think all the European metal bands, I think that's who they go do.
Yeah. Ulver got some French dude. But can't remember his name. And he does writes sheet music of their albums. And
but I mean for the recording, because the Oslo Phil's the cheapest orchestra.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the European orchestras are cheap because they're not unionized. So like even like the LSO, who are a like great orchestra, is like way cheaper than any American orchestra. But I think Oslo was like like as cheap as you can go. I don't know. So that my information may be out of date. Like this is from like 15 years ago. So apologies to the Oslo Philharmonic if you're way better than you used to be. But I've heard some pretty bad recordings, like that Hilary Hahn Stravinsky violin concerto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the orchestra's really lagging on that disc. I remember Tom McGaw, one of my old composition professors. I remember he even when he got that disc, he looked at it and he's like, "Yeah, the esteemed Oslo Philharmonic." It's like I didn't even know. He's like, I didn't even know that was like orchestra. No, but what was you said? You have a theory about John Williams' process.
Okay. So
I mean, it's all recomposed Tchaikovsky,
right. Well, no, my theory is that this is based. You remember the Bill Murray SNL Star Wars bit?
Yeah.
Star Wars.
yeah.
Star Wars. My theory is that that's how he has written every one of his pieces, and I have examples. So let me see if I can remember like the best order. So there's obviously Star Wars, right? Star Wars is obvious.
Just saying Bill Murray was on to something.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that I think that's
it's
how
art imitating life.
It works for almost all of them if you factor in that I made it up. For example, okay, so this is Superman. Superman, right? Super obvious. That's like easily the big
Yeah.
and every time they play that, it's when it's like dun da da fucking Superman. Indiana Jones is Indiana Jones, Indiana Jones. Makes perfect sense.
Well, you know where he got the blueprint from, right?
Where?
Batman.
Probably. And then wait, I have more.
This theory's genius, by the way.
Right. Well, again, and so far it works.
Yeah.
No, I'm very. I like music with lyrics, and I'm lyric oriented, and so like the rhythm of the text is important to me, and so I think that's why I got mildly obsessed with this. Which one didn't I do? I don't think I worked out Jurassic Park, but it's in there. I just don't remember the melody to Jurassic Park. But E.T. is one of my favorites. It's E.T. the extraterrestrial. Which
That's a
although
stretch.
it's a stretch, but it's the right number of syllables. So anyway,
Yeah, I think the Jurassic Park
This
theme
is-
actually doesn't fit that
Yeah,
when I think about
here's
it.
the thing.
I didn't think it did, but the last time I heard it, I think I found a way to make
Yeah,
it.
right. This is some Bible code shit here,
right.
where
Honestly.
you're like pick and choose until it
Right.
until it
I
fits
can make it work.
my narrative.
Several of them make sense, and then I'm just like, all right, well,
I feel like he just recycles a bunch of old work and
Right, it's all
sells it.
recomposed Tchaikovsky
Yeah.
or Chopin.
and they even like they know like it's in all like the articles about him. They're like, oh, here's some of the classical pieces he references, and by which I mean he copied for all these
rips
sections.
off.
Yeah.
No, because that was the thing. A lot of people don't know is that so like all Romantic era stuff was never under copyright because copyright law didn't exist. Then in the 20th century, Russia did not have a copyright law until 1972. So like Shostakovich, you can just use like there's tons of stuff. So most like tons and tons of film music is Tchaikovsky, Chopin, Korngold, late Vaughan Williams, and there's one other one I'm forgetting. But that's there. I mean, just go listen to any like late Vaughan Williams symphony. It's like every sci-fi movie you've seen.
Yeah.
And Korngold violin concerto, like it's everywhere. Tchaikovsky violin. Like if we just want to talk about Star Wars, right? Chopin Second Piano Sonata. Tchaikovsky violin concerto. Like Holst. The planets, like it's just
totally.
it's,
everybody rips off.
right.
Like,
It's just
oh my god.
it's just. I mean, you just listen to these pieces and it's like
Speaking of
pretty
symphony
obvious.
acts,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it's about the same level of recomposition. Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
to Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Talking about Star Wars.
Okay, since we're on Star Wars, I gotta use you guys already heard this line, but the world needs to know. My one sentence review of the new Star Wars film is, it's like a new Megadeth album. It's all stuff you've seen before, but with some new people and some better production. It's like
on,
a perfect correlation as far as I'm concerned.
I feel like being a Star Wars fan is like watching the A Christmas Story marathon on TNT every year. Like it's the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, but when you know it's
you do it 'cause it's
literally
familiar.
the same movie.
Yeah.
This is like being sold to you as a new movie, even though it's kind of not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I the first new Star Trek was the only thing that didn't make it like that completely is the fact that it acknowledged that it was like an alternate timeline. Mm-hmm. Is that it literally like made part of the story. The fact that this is a completely new timeline because the events of the story rewrite the entire history of Star Trek, which is an idea that carried into the second movie to such a degree that like nobody liked it.
Yeah.
By the way, Star Wars fans, hate mail at yourmusicisbad.com.
But here's okay, and I'm glad you brought this up though, because that Star Trek reboot, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
This is J.J. Abrams.
Right.
I feel like his thing now is blowing up planets. like he's like, I gotta blow up some planets, or else I'm not working on this movie. They'll be like, JJ, we want you to do the new Superman. Is there a planet I can blow up? There sure is.
Got it.
Yeah, sign me up. Where do I sign? Like that's like his new prerequisite, because there's I hope that's not too big of a spoiler.
Yeah, I don't know.
That in case you didn't hear about how there's like a Death Star in the new
By the time
Wars.
By the time I edit this and release it, it'll be fine.
No one will care.
Or at least I won't care. I'll be like, I don't care.
You already don't care.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
So, Braindance?
See it for free. Yeah, Braindance. More. Speaking of hilarity. Oh man. So my notes start too late, but luckily I
I've
can't.
got notes.
I can't forget this. So
Just wanna
does
start
anyone
with,
have does anyone have anything before coat check?
Just a weird line of like.
Oh yeah, so
Overweight,
I guess we should talk about solid
Midwestern
not so
goths.
solid snake. What name did we give him? Okay, so the thing was, this show was the day after the Paris attacks. Okay.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't even
yeah.
realize.
Right. Friday was the Paris attacks. Okay. And then Saturday was the Braindance show. And the reason this is relevant is because this is a goth show, right? Where everyone shows up in like their weird whatever. Like there was this dude there.
6'4" ninja, basically.
Well, right. Oh no, but
Or...
no. Well, I was gonna lead into that. I was gonna say, to give another example, like to set the scene,
Sorry.
was the guy who's the dude in Hot Tub Time Machine, the black guy.
Craig
Craig
Robinson?
Robinson.
This guy looked like he could be like his cousin or little brother or something. So that dude in a white straitjacket.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Just because it's a goth show.
Yeah.
But it was so weird. I was like, dude, it's Hot Tub Time Machine guy. So we're in line with this guy. Yeah, he was like 6'4", and he was head to toe in like black tactical gear.
Yeah.
And Matt goes, you're like, you know what happened yesterday, right? Like that might not be the best thing to wear out in public
I
right
didn't even
now.
think about it. That's
Yeah,
weird.
no, so this dude was super weird. And then I feel like
We were
I hope I
talking
wrote
about
this
like,
down.
Unix stuff, and that's when he like
Yeah.
perked up.
Yeah,
Like,
he was
super
really interested in our conversation about Unix. But so we named him.
Oh, that's right.
But for my first, I was like, who is this guy? SEAL Team 0.6, and then one of you goes not so solid
I said-
snake.
I said not so
okay,
solid snake.
yeah, that was great. But so okay, so the thing was, we get there, and again, like everyone, it's a goth show. Everyone wears like a crazy costume, whatever. And we try to walk into the show, and there's some dude, like bouncer dude, wearing a sport coat that, like he never wears a sport coat. Like the venue's like, wear a sport coat. And he's all like, mandatory coat check. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm like, I'm wearing this because like temperatures.
Yeah.
It
and
was,
it's like, we were barely wearing coats.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Right,
like
I was wearing a light jacket.
yeah.
And he's like, mandatory coat check. And I'm like, God, this dude's like twice my size. So we go down. So first of all, the show is $10. Okay. So it's a cheap show.
Yeah.
So on one hand, it feels petty to complain about the mandatory coat check. But on the other hand, the mandatory coat check being $4
Yeah.
is a 40% price increase.
Yeah.
And an unpublicized one at that. So I keep saying, this was at Santos Party House, by the way.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to file a complaint with the city because I feel like that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
but it's serious. Like if there's a mandatory coat check, I purchased my ticket online, at which point I was told that it was $10.
Yeah.
Like they should have to disclose all the fee, like because you have to disclose like the
They should
service
have to disclose there's
charge.
a mandatory coat check.
So it's like that was I want to get the city on them, but I haven't done that yet. So anyway,
Like you were wearing like a suit jacket kind of jacket, right?
no, I was wearing my Theory that
okay.
slimming like
Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause see,
Black,
I was wearing my leather jacket, but it's like
Slimming.
a light fashion leather jacket, and so I literally was like, this is like my outfit.
Right,
Like,
no, exactly.
I mean, I had a hoodie under it, but if I didn't have my hoodie, I would just been like in like a t-shirt, and that was not how I was planning to. I was like, this is what I'm
Yeah.
gonna wear at the show. And they were like, yeah, so and the guy
Your
when
Advil.
he patted me down, I had a little like
this was
mini
great.
tube of Advil I had just bought, and he was like basically he was like, we'll hold that here, and I'm like, I just took some Advil, so whatever, I don't need like 4 more Advil pills later or whatever. And he was like, yeah, you shouldn't take that shit anyway, it's bad for you. And I'm like, what?
yeah, because you're a qualified physician,
Right.
dude who works the door at Santos Party House,
Yeah,
at midnight on a Saturday.
And then, if I'm checking this jacket anyway, why don't I just check them in the jacket and you check me after I check my jacket?
Yeah.
Like, what? It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then we get inside,
Whoa.
and it turns out it's a mandatory coat check unless you're goth enough.
Right. Yeah.
'Cause
No, that's what
there was a dude with like full leather, black leather coat.
Well, and I couldn't tell. Like, I feel like Not So Solid Snake like actually did check something, but he
Yeah.
still was wearing more than
Yeah.
we were.
Yeah, he was wearing a
so
lot of gear.
I don't understand the thing. But
And a ski mask. Were we not
Yeah,
clear
yeah.
that he was wearing a fucking mask? And like, it was like, dude.
oh, that was the other thing about why I was saying like, you guys should go see Star Wars with me, because the theater I went to and they publicized this, a strict like no masks, face paint, or like
yeah,
costumes
yeah.
policy.
The guy in the full Cenobite costume from the Braindance show.
Oh
would
yeah,
know
there was
that.
there was a Cenobite there.
Yeah. So it's so I
weird.
really like. I was really tempted to go back upstairs and be like, hey, so I feel like you're discriminating against me because I'm not goth enough.
Yeah, well, no, but here's the other thing: the coat check for being 40% of the price.
Yeah.
They basically said to us, by the way, we're a shitty coat check, because they said, make sure you take a picture of your ticket. Because
Yeah.
like if you lose it, we're just gonna fuck you over.
Yeah.
And I did not take a picture of my ticket. That's where I drew the line, because at that point, I honestly would have rather gotten into a verbal confrontation with someone, because the whole thing was so ridiculous. I would have been like, that's my jacket, and if you don't give it to me, I'm calling the police because you stole my jacket.
Yeah.
like on this coat check that against my will.
Right.
I was coat checked against my will. I'm moving to New Hampshire. Yeah, this was all just to get into the show. And by the way, you don't have to check your welder's goggles, in case any of you goths were wondering.
I
And
honestly,
you welder
like,
goths were wondering.
I should have. I think we covered most of the major ones, but there were so many examples of things that seemed to go against the mandatory mandatory coat check that I should have just made a
no,
list.
I just wanted to just pay $4 and keep my coat.
Yeah.
Like, because this is clearly a shakedown.
Yeah.
So can I just give you the $4 because I like having pockets.
Yeah.
No, okay. So the one good thing that came out of the coat check though was, so you have to go downstairs into this like past the bathrooms in this really narrow hallway. Okay, so I run in this way too much in New York, and I always want to attribute it to tourists, but like you're on an escalator, and I yell this at people on escalators. I'm like, stand right, walk left.
Yeah.
And I have to do it all the time. So I check my coat, and then I turn around to leave, and now the line, which has been completely on the right side so that you can egress on the left side, there is now a dude like standing on the left side, just standing there. And I just walk up to him, and I was like, I'm so miffed at this point, right? I just don't even say anything. I just walk like I'm like right in his face, like just like hoping he'll figure out. And there's like this like 3-second pause, and he's like, oh, and he steps over, and the moron who did this was wearing an ICP shirt.
Oh, I saw that dude.
Juggalo spotted.
Yeah. So I was like, of course, the dude who doesn't understand how like the line and the left and right work.
That doesn't burn me up.
The juggalo.
As much as people who stand in an escalator or staircase. Staircase. Or people who walk backwards in escalators, because that shit happens too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
They're like, I didn't want to get on. It's like, no, just ride that shit to the top. Come back down.
Take the other one back down. Yeah, I don't know. You figure if you're in New York, you would have some of these skills, but apparently people don't. So anyway, so we get there. So then the thing was, so I'd asked, because the lineup was weird.
Yeah.
The lineup. This was how the show was built. The show was built like 4 DJs, Braindance, and then like I don't know if it was special guest or whatever, but Jason the Magician.
JAYSIN.
Yeah. So I looked this dude
and then,
up.
like more DJs or something. Like
That was two and two, but that was just saying there's 4.
Right,
yeah.
They listed it weird too because the flyer always had Braindance like in the middle, so it kind of looked like there was a few acts before and a few acts after. But it kind of also made it confusing as to which was which because they were perfectly in the middle.
So that was the thing. I asked, I know a couple guys in the band, and I said, hey, when are you going on? And they both told me 12:30. So we got there at like midnight. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It did not happen at 12.
We did not miss any of the acts.
I kept trying to like figure out, without a lot of information, how many acts had passed, because when it's just like a DJ,
you can't really tell.
Like when was house music and when is like an actual DJ set. And then there was one guy who came up at some point, and I really was like, wait, is this count as a set or is this just like the pre-show music? And
right? Are you the guy that
like, are you? Which of these is you, and which point in the set are you?
I wonder if all those DJs work with Sebastian. Maybe that's how they got on the bill.
Maybe.
I think everybody who was there in a performing capacity was like friends with the band.
I mean,
Even
probably,
the security and the photographers, and we'll talk about the photographers.
Yeah, well, okay. Here's the thing, though. So we get inside, and we view everyone's deal. So then the thing is, like, I just want to be front row, so I just walk up to the stage, and there's this dude with a crew laminate sitting on the front of the stage, and he's like, if you could like not lean on the stage, or because they're still setting. I'm like, dude, I used to be a live sound engineer. Like I'm not. He's like, they're still sound checking. I'm like, I'm not gonna like. I'm standing. What am I gonna do? Like unplug stuff? Like I don't. So that was weird. So then we stood 3 feet from the stage instead of leaning on the stage. Like I wanted to do for an hour and a half, because that's way more comfortable.
And through the whole show, he stood there and faced the crowd and made sure nobody.
Right. What he didn't look like security. No. Like he wasn't stopping anybody. This dude was not fit. No. I don't know what his deal was, but
he works out with Sebastian. I mean,
he wasn't at the last show.
Yeah, he was.
No, he wasn't
actually
sitting on the stage telling people not to be along the stage.
But he was doing the crew security thing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he didn't get in my way at the last show where I did the exact same thing that I was trying to do here. So that was weird. Yeah, so then Jason, the magician. So I looked this guy up because at first I was like, well, I don't know, maybe it's going to be some weird sword swallowing and there'll be dominatrixes being cut in boxes. I don't know, maybe it's some crazy goth stuff. No, he's like Uncle Magic. Well, but
right. The interesting thing was that there was a little bit of I guess fire eating stuff.
Yeah.
But then the rest was just standard close up party magic.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Pick a card. And then he did some card trick that nobody else in the entire place could see.
And he did scarves and stuff.
Every single one of his tricks, by the way. Which card tricks. Once you get past a certain amount of you get skilled with card tricks, the misdirection, it looks good. This did not look good.
No. And
I could see where all the cards were behind his hand.
They weren't really like card tricks for a crowd. They were close up magic. It was I'm doing a card trick for you. Everybody else, hold on. We'll go one at a time and I'll get to you. But you can see this trick.
He stopped his show at the beginning just to point out that he liked that I'm bald. Because he's bald. And that was super weird.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was super weird.
I like your hair, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he had his sweet, robe.
Yeah.
And then I actually took some video of this. He had a sweet robe, and he took that off, and then he had, his 3-piece suit, and he had this weird set. And, those Puerto Rican strippers were way into it. So we mentioned this on the last time we talked about Braindance. So some of you may not know, or maybe didn't listen to that episode, or maybe forgot. Sebastian, the lead singer of this band, he's the DJ at Scores, the strip club. So lots of strippers come to their shows and stuff. And these strippers were way into this magic show. The video that I have, you can hear them going crazy. They're they are so enthusiastic. They are amazed by the tricks. They're having so much fun. I bet you Sebastian was hey, we're going to put on this show. And the girls were you need to have you should get a magician or something. And he got a magician for them.
Yeah, sure.
I would not be surprised if that's how this happened. But the thing was, when I looked him up on YouTube, he wasn't performing at a children's party. It looked like he was performing at another nightclub.
Yeah.
So I guess this is his thing. I don't know. But then he one of his tricks, he threw a bunch of glitter, which I then had. It was on the stage, so when I did finally get to lean on the stage, I had glitter all over me.
Yeah.
So that was weird.
You know why they were so excited? Because it's a Saturday night and they weren't at work.
They got one off.
Yeah.
That's what you get for being friends with the DJ. Yeah, so there was that, and then there was the supposedly 2 DJ sets.
Yeah, like I said, I think one of them was the dude. Well, there was a dude on stage before him, and then there was the dude who was over in an actual DJ booth after the magic, and that could have been 1 or 2 sets though. I wouldn't have been able to tell.
Way more attention than I was.
No, I really, what I'm saying is I know that there was. I couldn't tell you whether it was 1 or 2 sets after the magician because I know that it moved up to the DJ booth.
Okay,
and then I remember several times being "Is this the same song?" Have more than one song happened? I think it's been a half hour.
All I know is by the time the band actually went on, the crowd thinned out.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy.
I think that the Pantera scared them away. Yeah,
no, that's right. There's the one dude.
Right, there's the one dude. He posted in the event page beforehand, it's that he'd be spinning Pantera, and people were yeah. And I don't want to listen to Pantera, but if I did, I could do that at home. I could do that without a $4 coat check.
Yeah.
So was it 2:30 by the time?
No. They went out at 1:30.
Okay.
But which is an hour and a half after we got there, and an hour after we were told.
Well, you got there at 11:30.
Oh,
I said doors at 11, and I was there at 11:15, and.
Oh yeah, but they didn't. I feel like they didn't let us in till midnight because I got there and we stood in line with Not So Solid Snake for a while.
Something like that.
I had a whole story. my dinner is story worthy, but it's not related at all to the podcast, so I don't need to tell that story. But I got there later than I had even intended.
Advice for bands. If your show's on a Saturday night, I don't want your show, if you're the only band playing, to be the only thing I do with my night. Please don't have your set time at 1:30 in the fucking morning.
Well, no, or if you do, advertise that. Because then we can go do something else before.
Yeah.
Like,
it makes sense for like them to play and then have DJs after, because then you're in like club hours.
Right. And I understand bands that don't want to tell you the exact set time because they want you to see the supporting bands, but there were no supporting bands.
Yeah.
Or they want to make sure that you're, probably at that point intoxicated and generally irresponsible self because you're the sort of person that goes, to metal shows on Saturday night past midnight. Like, it's going to show up on time. So, you tell people fake time, but it's like, this is New York. Tell me the set time.
Yeah.
Like, if I can't get there at the right time, that's my fault. Like, just tell me the set time.
Yeah.
So, right. That was super lame. But yeah, they did. Yeah. So they went on at 1:30. I mean, it was good. The other show was better.
Yeah.
The one we saw before. But I don't know, Matt, you didn't see the other show. I didn't see the other one. So you didn't have that point of comparison. Yeah. I mean, what did you think?
It seemed good to me. I mean, I don't know, having not seen the other one, but they sounded good for the most part. Trying to think.
There was one really epic, I guess, fail. I didn't want to say that. Yeah. During the set where, so Vora sings some of the backup vocals, and so they all have these TC units, right? Like Sebastian singing the Helicon live, or Helicon, however you say it. Mm-hmm. And then Vora's got one of similar unit in her rack. And so her rack has all her guitar gear and her wireless and her vocal processor. And there was something wrong with I don't know what it was, because we're up close. So we're not really in the field of the mains anyway. And there was a couple songs where when somebody wasn't playing or whatever, they'd go fiddle with the cables, blah, blah, whatever. And so eventually there's a period where it's a long instrumental section, and the sound guy comes up onto stage and it power cycles her rack, but that's not just the vocal processor, it's her guitar rig.
Yeah.
So she turned off her whole guitar rig. While she was playing a lead in the long instrumental, she looked so pissed. And I mean, rightfully so. But then luckily it came back on on the same patch. So kept playing, but it was just kind of what are you doing? That was kind of a train wreck. But I mean, they're still really good. But I thought the other show had better sound, and they were tighter, and they didn't have technical difficulties, and they had a bigger stage.
Yeah, because I've been to La Poisson Rouge, and in fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going there tonight because that 80s thing is there.
Which 80s thing?
The one I went to with Jeff and Audra randomly. It's just an 80s cover band.
Oh.
And it's every Saturday, and it's at La Poisson Rouge. And so I've been there, and it's a good sounding room, and they have a pretty big stage, so I could imagine the other one.
Wait, they do that every Saturday there?
At least currently. I don't know if it's a seasonal thing or whatever, but yeah, it's like a residency kind of deal. And now there's also a 90s show on Friday, but I looked up, we were trying to decide to go to the 90s or 80s one this time, and I looked up the 90s one, and I remember the 80s one when I first watched it online being all right, I mean, it is what it is, right? It's an 80s cover band, right? And so it kind of was it kind of feels like a poor man's Steel Panther, but without the metal emphasis, just the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's a cover band. But I mean, they were a good enough band. It was a good time, and we were drinking and whatever. So it was a fun time. But when I watched the preview for the 90s one, I was like, oh no, this is way worse. Because
is it Dishwalla? It's the set list.
It's because
Dishwalla.
Okay, first of all, it's the 90s. A lot of people were flat anyway. right? A lot of people just sang because it was kind of part of the thing.
Right, Courtney Love.
Right. So it's like the guys who joined the 90s band didn't have the pitch to join the 80s band. Because everyone was flat. Every vocal I heard was flat.
Well, they could
and nobody's in tune.
Man.
And nobody, and you don't have to be able to tune your guitar because it's the 90s. So everything was out of tune and flat and just bad.
Well, I mean,
so
they
I
could
passed on that.
I mean, you could do like Samantha Fox if you want to go 80s and out of tune, like.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they're in any way actually connected to the other band. I'm sure they're. Although actually they might be because I think there's some promoter in common with them actually. So there might be some dude who's like, yo, so I noticed you guys do covers of 80s songs and you could be going places with that. I got this regular spot open and if you just want to play 80s songs every weekend.
That's weird though, man. That's a club. Like that shouldn't be their every weekend booking. That's
It must be working. It was pretty packed too. I mean, fucking 80s. And again, it was not the Yacht Rock review. This was the correct 80s. And a young enough
as
audience.
advertised. There was actually an 80s show I wanted to go to on Thursday. It was my friend's 80s band and Schism.
Oh yeah.
But like I fell asleep again because like my weird sleep. I fell asleep at like 8 o'clock on Thursday. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
what else do we have
on Braindance?
Well, they had 3 professional photographers.
I missed that.
Oh, right, photographers.
Drove me insane.
Well, there was one in particular who kept like standing in front of one of us at any given time. And like, I get like you need your close-up shot, but he didn't seem to get that thing where it's like, he knew he was stepping in front of someone because he was aware of it and tried to kind of be like, sorry, whatever. But then once you take a few shots, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, he was doing it every 5 seconds.
Right, because at first I was like, okay, yeah, sure, take your shot. But then after a few minutes, I was like, I'm still here. I still want to keep watching the show.
He also had one of those cup flashes, and he had the top off.
Yes.
And he kept turning it to the audience and taking pictures. And blinded me for like 5 fucking minutes.
Not only did he not understand what that was for, but they're also just not that useful.
Yeah,
and like
especially in that environment.
Yeah. They're I did enough photography to learn that like there's one or two things they can be sort of useful for, but 90% of the time it's a gimmick. And like there was a dude who actually did tests and it was like, it doesn't actually diffuse the light much at all. And basically it just means that you're shooting your flash at the ceiling but not in a way where like you actually effectively bounce it or something. You're just like, hey, I'm just gonna flash at the ceiling a bunch and like get a little bit amount of light towards my subject, but mostly not. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one other note, and I think I know what it means. It says, "Let me rearrange these waters." So that dude who was sitting on the stage, I feel like there was a point where he took Sebastian's water bottles and like.
I think I remember that because I think I remember seeing him kind of like reach in front of you and be like,
right, but all he did was like, it was like 3-card Monty,
right?
Like,
it, like didn't
he
do anything.
moved them around without anything going anywhere.
He's practicing to, help out Jason the Magician.
Afterwards, I thought you were gonna say at the club.
Well, you said they were sword swallowing, so.
I did not.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on iTunes or at yourmusicIsbad.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter at TheOneTrueMatt. And as always, send your hate mail and other inquiries to hatemail@yourmusicIsbad.com.